but Europe is at risk, I think, of engaging in civilizational suicide. They are unable to or unwilling, too many countries, to control their borders. You see them starting to push back against that, and good, that's a good thing. You see them starting to limit the free speech of their own citizens, even as those citizens are protesting against things like the border invasion that got Donald Trump and a number of European leaders elected. So look, I want Europe to thrive.
Europe is facing a major crisis, and J.D. Vance isn't staying silent. He's openly warning about the troubling direction the continent is taking, especially with weak border policies and restrictions on free speech. In the UK, the situation is even more alarming. The government has prioritized political correctness over fundamental freedoms, leading to a crackdown on speech. People are being jailed for online posts while real criminals walk free.
The presence here is causing people
so the police have told me before in an email I am allowed to be in this area.
Right, okay. So you're not allowed to be within 150 metres, like I say, because your mere presence is causing people to
So me personally, I'm not allowed to come within 150 metres of an abortion centre.
So with you being the leader of an organisation, an anti-abortion organisation, should I say?
Would you mind?
Sorry, apologies. No, that's okay. It is causing people harassment, alarm and distress. And although I know you're not...
Weak border control, rising crime, and increasing restrictions on free speech, Vance isn't afraid to call it out. He openly criticizes leaders who choose to stay silent or turn a blind eye to these issues.
In common with Europe. And I'm not, yes, the Europeans annoy me sometimes, and yes, I disagree with them on certain issues, but we have to remember that is the cradle of Western civilization. The entire idea of Christian civilization that led to the founding of the United States of America, that was formed in Europe. The cultural bonds, the religious bonds, these things are going to last beyond political disagreements, but I think that Europe, and frankly, I would have said this about America a year ago, but Europe is at risk, I think, of engaging in civilizational suicide.
Vance didn't hesitate to call out Keir Starmer for pretending everything is fine, especially regarding free speech. While Starmer claimed to take pride in the UK's commitment to it, Vance exposed the hypocrisy. People are being jailed for expressing opinions online while real issues are ignored. During a tense exchange, Starmer sat with Vance and Trump, praising the UK's stance on free speech. But Vance immediately pointed out the contradiction. Starmer's words didn't match reality.
There have been infringements on free speech that actually affect not just the British, of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and by extension American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last for a very, very long time. Well, no, I mean, certainly we wouldn't want to reach across US citizens, and we don't, and that's absolutely right. But in relation to free speech in the UK, I'm very proud of our history there.
People now face prison for social media posts that challenge the establishment, making free speech risky. Vance warns that UK leaders like Starmer ignore the issue, exposing the gap between political claims and reality. European nations embraced open borders without considering the consequences. Public services, hospitals, schools, and welfare programs are overwhelmed while taxpayers foot the bill. Crime rises, yet politicians refuse to acknowledge the link. Weak border control isn't just about security, it's tearing society apart. At least 750 illegal migrants arrived in Britain in a single day, pushing the year's total to nearly 12,200. Smugglers are rushing crossings before new deportation laws take effect. The UK's stance on free speech is contradictory. The government calls it a fundamental right but enacts laws that silence dissent. Political correctness now suppresses discussion, making people fear retaliation for expressing their views. A growing gap exists between political elites and ordinary citizens. While crime rises and services struggle, elites push detached agendas. J.D. Vance and Donald Trump emphasized national sovereignty and free speech. Without secure borders, nations lose their identity and security. Vance makes it clear, leaders must protect their own people. Yet, across Europe, citizens demand less immigration, but leaders refuse to listen. Under Starmer, free speech is suppressed and mass immigration fuels tensions. Elites remain untouched while ordinary people suffer. The UK and other European nations stand at a crossroads. Weak borders and speech suppression are leading them down a dangerous path. J.D. Vance's message is clear. Europe needs leaders who will speak the truth and prioritize citizens. The battle for free speech and national sovereignty is at a breaking point, Action is needed now. Do you think Europe will wake up in time? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more discussions on these crucial issues. Let's keep the conversation going.